Good morning, everyone. Kansas Sports HQ here, episode 34, connecting the communities that we serve. Sheldon Howell, Sean Cutler here, and guys, how's the morning? Sean has discussed losing the Super Bowl in Madden already, and I want to hear more about that.
No. Just quit playing Malik. Let Malik do what Malik is supposed to do.
He said he traded Jordan Love to the Browns.
He was throwing too many interceptions.
You were playing him.
Yeah,
You
but
Josh Jacobs.
We started a chant in here, which was fire the OC, and Sean got really quiet. But
I don't think you fire the OC after making back-to-back Super Bowls.
That is a very good point.
yeah, but you're the OC
lost them
that's
both,
lost
though.
them
I
both.
feel like Kyle Shanahan right now. just a genius, but I can't win the big moment.
right.
Just gets too crazy.
Yeah,
too
just should have
fast.
gave the ball to Josh Jacobs. You know, that's what,
Were you like in one score games? Like, was it close? Or?
Expert mode too.
all pro. So not the highest one.
Okay.
but it's
Close enough.
But the year before it was a really close game. And then this year, I just turned the ball over too much.
Wow.
It was a one-score game, and then
It wasn't.
Three
Well,
straight.
I
Six.
threw it downfield to an open guy right here, and then somehow I don't know. It just went to the safety in the middle of the field. I was like, well, that's that.
Just straight into the middle.
Lost to the Chiefs.
Well, I decided for our first Christmas giveaway, we're going to be giving away a session package. We're going to kind of level it up as we go along. So I'm going to clip this out of our podcast today and share it. So make sure that if you're out there, you see this, make sure to enter into our post that you like the post, comment and tag some friends on the post, and then share the post. You can get entered 3 times. So if you do all 3 of those things, you get entered 3 times into the drawing. And we're going to be giving away a session package. I'll have the details that are on there. So Merry Christmas. We're launching that bad boy today. So I'm going to get it out there, and then I'm just going to every day maybe not every day, but we're going to put a bunch out there. So make sure you like all those. And
What's
and
the
hop on
time
them.
frame on this? How are you? 24
I
hours?
don't know.
48 hours?
I'll put it in the post. I'll let you know. But
Okay.
make sure that if you see this, you're getting entered in.
You have 60 minutes.
Parisi session
now.
package, our first giveaway.
Bang.
Well,
Bang, bang.
so let's talk about connecting to the community with all the businesses that operate out of this house, this studio. You know, we pride ourselves on being able to give back, be involved, and just do some cool things. So, Sheldon, let's talk about a fun memory and your most fun memory as of recent.
I mean, I think we should probably kind of lay out what we're talking about first. If one fun memory isn't going to really paint the picture, I think let's dive into what we mean. So first and foremost, we've got 6 different baseball teams that are operating in small communities across the state. And, kind of the purpose of these baseball teams is it's kind of 2 purpose. I think we have, the baseball side, that's kind of common sense, right? Like guys are coming here to play baseball and be a part of a team to work on their skills, work on their crafts, like all of that stuff. But then we have the other portion, which is really where our involvement is heavy, which is in our local community, trying to provide spectator baseball that gives back to a small community and gives them something fun to do in the summertime, right? That's kind of our business model is, we're going to bring this form of entertainment into these small communities that really don't have much to do, right? And, we're not trying to talk down about our small towns, but the small towns around here, I mean, they've got maybe 1 or 2, frequented restaurants. They don't typically, every once in a while you'll see these towns maybe have a movie theater or a bowling alley, but they don't have a ton of different things that a bigger city like Wichita, and even Wichita is kind of, smaller in some capacity, depending on, what types of cities we're talking about. So, what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring these teams there that, can bring a sense of, involvement and brings something for a family to be able to do something that's affordable, that they can get out and it's safe. They get to go out there and create memories and have a good time while it's happening. Like that's really, kind of the purpose. And the only way that we can do those things is by having these small communities support us, because they want to have a good time and they want to come out and they want to be able to kind of partake in that. Right. So, I think that there's a lot that goes into it because there's just every community is different, right? Each one of these communities that we have our teams in all kind of have their own little quirks about them. They have their own people that run them, like it's just all. Whoa. Thank you for answering that. Nice. But they all have their own little quirks about them. They have their own things. And, we just try to plug in, where we fit in and be able to, offer something fun and make it about, the community that we're in. So I don't know. Let's talk about, I think we go kind of one by one and just kind of break down, some of the different things that we've done in different spots. Not all of our places have the same things. And we can kind of, break those things down and then kind of talk about, why it's impactful and the things that we do.
Sure. So let's kind of start with our first team ever, the Park City Rangers. The Rangers are supported by the city, and they haven't played ever in that city.
Yep.
And so they actually play at Friends University, but they're very active in the community for different things. They have a community impact board that we talk to on an often basis for the events that they put on. And they supported us getting a mascot, Bucket Hat Billy, or Billy the Kid, however that looks. And he walks around in the parade. They do youth mini camps and trunk or treats and all kinds of things. It would be, it's not a missed opportunity in Park City for our guy to be out there.
Yeah. I think Park City it's obviously a growing community. There's a lot that's happening there. It's one of our most challenging teams when it comes to being able to drive community support, not because the city doesn't support us, but just because we don't play in Park City, right? So that's a challenge in itself. And we're still kind of sitting and hoping that we end up with the opportunity to be able to do that, because we would jump all over that opportunity. And now we have a head coach that's living in Park City, right? So and that's part of our business models, I think, too, is that we want to try and get rooted into the places that we're at. So that was a big piece. And, so he's talking to some community members there. He's got neighbors, people that are going around to the stores, that type of stuff, just trying to spread some awareness for the team. But, that Park City is a challenging spot just because we're not playing baseball games in Park City. We've had some good support there, though. We've had people that, still want to be involved and still want to do things. It's just when you don't play there, it's a tough one. That's just kind of a challenge. I mean, I can't just pop up a baseball field real fast. That's, yeah, it's a little bit harder there. And then, it's just if they get them done, if they get the fields done, then obviously we'll be there. So, fingers crossed. Hopefully I don't know. Have you guys heard anything on that? I haven't heard an update on those fields in forever.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I heard
I know
from a trusted source that they're getting it done. I'm like, are you sure though?
And
I
he was
mean,
like,
all
"I
of
don't
the
know."
things
He's a
have
Park City resident.
Oh.
all the things have passed that need to get things going.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, who knows what route they're going on that? I know they got some bills to pay first.
Yeah.
But moving on to the next city or the next team on the list for longest tenure, you have the Valley Center Mud Daubers. Sean is as a coach there, and the VC. So we do actually see a lot of
Buzz.
Valley Center people intermingling with the Park City people because they are close.
Yeah.
But the Mud Daubers have been around for 8-9 years now, maybe longer.
Yeah, right around that.
And
It's got to be about 9 years.
they have probably the best facility, minus the mosquitoes.
Well, I would say Eldo's
as
I'd
far
say
as
Eldo,
field,
too.
as far as field, you know,
Oh,
the
yeah,
all turf,
I'd
that kind
still
of
say
stuff.
Eldo.
Well, okay, we can play anytime at Valley Center.
That's the one thing that they definitely have. If El Dorado would just, we'll talk about El Dorado in a minute, but yeah, Valley Center right next to Park City, so there's some crossover there
No,
for
there's
sure.
no crossover.
Definitely the people go back and forth.
No, none of that.
Yeah, they
Park City comes to the Valley Center Walmart.
Oh yeah, there's some crossover there.
They're not allowed.
Yeah, there's definitely crossover, but Valley Center hosts the largest one of our mini camps. I mean, they've averaged 120 kids,
Maybe.
I believe.
Yeah, I mean they did really well. I think last year was the first time the camp wasn't really super successful, but I think that had to do with our coaching staff maybe forgetting about the camp. But I don't know.
Yeah, it was just
Okay.
weird times, but you know, the
one,
Valley Center Mud Daubers have been around for a while. They're pretty ingrained in that community, doing the book drives, the Easter egg hunt, some fun games, and then Parisi actually goes out there for Valley Center Days, and their fall festival is pretty big, and you know, we're involved there. No mascot yet, but
Yeah, there are different challenges I think in Valley just because they're the one team out of the 6 teams where we don't have our CMB licenses out there because it's a school field compared to a city field. So that kind of makes it a little bit different, you know, in its own right. Have great host families, you know, they're that side of the community basis is really, really good. They're very involved. They come out to the games, support the guys. I would say that their host community is definitely the, you know, kind of staple where we're trying to get all of the other host communities to essentially kind of follow suit. Just because of their involvement, their love for the guys, their support of the guys. They definitely have that figured out. Like that is one of their strong points is having the involvement that they have.
haven't they hosted like the veteran wall or the moving wall or something like that?
Yeah, we did that a couple years back. That thing moves all over the place, but I don't know the schedule and how that is, but I know it came to Valley Center and we were kind of a part of the planning committee and just being involved in the conversations about it really. It happened when we didn't have baseball players in town, so we couldn't really like provide much manpower or anything. But Chris will go out. So ever since Chris got here, he goes out to the Easter egg stuff. Oh my goodness. But he goes out to that and is a part of, you know, the Easter egg deal. And any community events, the fall festival he's gone to the last 2 or 3 years, you know, and set up and talk with families and, you know, just trying to plug in, just trying to support different city events and be involved with the different things that are going on. Valley's kind of like Park City in the aspect of you know, there's not a ton of like quote unquote local business. There's some, and there's a handful of them that are there, but they're so close to Wichita that they get kind of
lumped in there.
Yeah, it's kind of pieced together. I mean, different ecosystems, if you will, but there's not as much local business because everybody is only 5 minutes from Wichita at at their locations. So we have some involvement. You know, that's definitely our challenges in both of those spots is we want to continue to try to grow that local presence and be involved more so there, you know, get the involvement with the games, that type of stuff. Park City they don't play in Park City, so that's tough. And then Valley Center, you know, we can't have our CMB that goes kind of in line with all of the promotions for the things. So that's why they have a ton of host family involvement, but they don't have like as much general fan base where it's just like, hey, we're just coming out to support the guys, you know, and we're going to hang out. They lack the numbers on that side of it in comparison to some of the other teams. So yeah, that's, you know, and I would love to get more. I know we've gone out. They got a new rec center out in Valley Center now. I know we've gone out there and ran a few things and just kind of, you know, shown face and done some stuff with them. And, you know, getting a mascot out there at some point in time would be kind of cool if we can get the city to get on board with that, just because we know that's kind of a gateway. You know, it's just a good gateway of getting involved with community events because kids love mascots, and if we can walk them around out there and go to fun things and just be involved, like more people become aware of the brand. You know, they just become aware that, oh, hey, this is here. Chris, even this year when he went to the fall festival, I talked to him afterwards. He was like, "Yeah, it's just crazy to me. Like I've been here for this long and talked to people, and they still, people still just have no idea that we play baseball.
Blown
there."
away that there's
Yeah.
a baseball team that plays here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this happens all the time. But I mean, and our timetables are just different, in that regard, just because of when we play and that type of stuff. So it is a little bit different. But what's your Sean? What's your kind of maybe fondest? That'd be a good plug of like one thing community base wise that you guys have done, with the team maybe there, like something that you guys have done over the past couple of years in the Valley Center community, whether that's giving back to the youth or, what are some of the things that you guys have done there?
Yeah, I think I mean, just off the top of my head, just be those youth camps.
Mhm.
There's this year we had like I don't know, probably 50 total kids between the two camps that we had. So it's just a good opportunity for those kids to see some high level athletes and just be around them. I mean, and then those athletes a good opportunity to work on their social skills and try to be some role models for those kids.
I think at Valley, didn't you guys? I know we have the youth camps, but I'm pretty sure that the Valley is like the only place that's kind of taken us up on practicing, like
Yeah.
with
Practice with the players.
yeah,
bring
like
your,
practicing out with you guys, like, and you guys have actually ran.
over the past few years, there's been like 2 or
Yeah.
3 different teams.
I don't remember their names. Chris would probably know them because I think Chris has worked with them the most. I don't know if you did that or not. Did you?
You might have been
Oh.
coaching Parisi.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. The Raptors.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Raptors came out. I actually worked with a few kids who were on myself who were on the Raptors. I don't think they're a team anymore, but yeah, they did like a little practice on field or somewhere. But and then there was another one. Bunch of guys went out. I can't remember what it was. I wasn't there, but Browning took. I don't think it was last year. It was either last year or the year before. Took him out to some facility. Browning would know more, but just like some special needs kids and everything, and hung out with them for a while. It was
That's
pretty
yeah.
pretty
I
cool.
remember now.
So
They came out to the field. I remember this now. Yeah, I know what you're talking about because they reached out about trying to do something, and we set it up with them and like 4 or 5 players. They came out and had like
I
was it
think-
more than that?
I think they actually went to the place. I don't think
Oh,
they-
really?
Yeah, I don't think they were at the field.
That could be true.
But
I
they
remember
actually
what it was,
went to
yeah.
that play. I can't remember what it was, but it's cool. I think our players have been so good about just doing it,
Mhm.
and I think the best thing to do when you're a kid in college and you're asked to do something like that is just not do the old, I got to do this. I'd rather relax. I play games 5 nights a week. It's just go and do it and really enjoy it, because I think those are the kind of things you look back on and be like, oh, shoot, like that's kind of cool that I made a difference in some kid's life, hopefully, and, gave them some sort of attention that they're not used to getting.
Yeah.
So I think I'd shout out to our players on that. I think they've just did a tremendous job of connecting with kids and hanging out and just being themselves around them and
For sure.
providing good role modelship.
Yeah. I would say Park City, like my community involvement thing that I think of, that's my first thing when I think of Park City, is 4th of July parade. That's like their big thing where the team goes and is probably the most impactful in the community. Valley
Because then they help
Center,
out with the car show and,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
stay and do different things, whatever the city asks us to do. But Valley Center, that's definitely like the first thing that pops in my head is like kids camps. Like they're the only city that has actually taken us up on our offer of being like, hey, like we're going to run kids camps, so come to those. We would love to see you there. But they're the only place that like their rec department has really pushed and said like, hey, no, reach out to these guys because you can go practice with college players and it doesn't cost you $1.
No. Well, and this year, that's really helped because that's getting some traction. Because this year at our home games, I mean, most obviously, Monday night, maybe not Tuesday, but like most of the games we had 12 to 15 kids running
Oh,
around,
for
just
sure.
screwing around playing ball or whatever,
Yeah.
which just gives it
Chasing down the foul ball.
it gives the game, or
Yeah, we
keeping them.
need more of them
Yeah.
out there.
But
Station them.
and it's cool when those kids come up by the dugout, ask for autographs from players and
Mhm.
stuff, or from Apple, and just they're hanging out by the game, and it gives the game like the truest like baseball feel ever when you got kids running around playing ball behind the dugout or over
Yeah.
there, and you just hear the kids having fun, and hot dogs are cooking by the concession stand, and then somebody in their backyard over there is grilling, and then in the 4th of July, well, actually 2 weeks before the 4th of July and about 2 weeks after. So for a month, there's just fireworks going off every night. So you're in a war zone, but it's really fun time. And we're kind of nestled behind a school on that field by the infamous mosquitoes, but you're just like tucked away. So you're just literally in the community. It's not like you're
you're like smack dab in the middle
Yeah.
of two
Which
neighborhoods.
being behind the school, I don't think helps with the notoriety, but like it's still like you're just literally in the neighborhood, which does remind me a little bit like when I played high school ball. That field was just tucked like right in there, so you're just and you're already a part of, you grew up in that town or whatever, so it's
right there.
seamless. I go from my house to the game and hang out.
Oh, you guys probably have more people that walk to the game
Oh, yeah.
than anybody in the league.
And
Like,
they
A couple
also
of those families live like
yeah.
at the field.
you
Basically.
guys also have the Hive, and
And,
that's
the Hive.
a place that all the players can convene, have a nice meal, and
That's
and
where the
they're-
Daubers nest.
yeah.
Yes,
They
yeah.
nest at
we
the
try
Hive.
to hang out there,
Yes.
as much as we can. We did it a little bit more last year than this year, but it's the players hanging out there, going to like karaoke nights and everything.
Mhm.
It's a good little dive.
Yeah.
And fun time, really good food.
New owners are cool. They're
Yeah.
active. They're
They sponsored our
cool.
Dobbs jerseys, which are really sweet. So
Those things are awesome. But yeah, that's what I remember the most. Or that's the first thing that pops in my head about Valley is just
the Hive.
no, the kids. The youth teams actually like have taken us up on the offers of coming out, being involved, like getting to work with our guys because we offer it in all the locations. Like, and they're the only one that I think is actually like maybe more than like a one-off here and there, but they've actually like consistently year to year been involved.
That's fun.
So-
I mean, that's what it's all about. It's
Amen.
it's what we talked about with, and I know we're going to talk about it in a second, but like what we talked about with Rod the other day, and how connected they are with the community and how connected those kids, you got generations of baseball all coming together in one spot. So, when summer ball is a conduit of bringing all those generations of baseball together and
Mhm.
just coaches are teaching the players are showing the fans, and the kids get to watch these players and they get to learn and learn and learn. And it's just, that's the best part about baseball, really. The connectivity between all the,
Your
Generations.
comment about the war zone and fireworks and stuff like that brought up a memory for the next team we'll talk about. But yeah, that Midwest firework.
dude, 2 years ago when we played on the 4th of July against the Farmers and we played like 15 innings. Oh my, it was nonstop. We played till midnight because we went so late, and it just nonstop, and it just right next to the field, then farther away, then right next to the field again, just bombs. There's like a little smoky haze over the field, and the score is not fireworks. It's like 2-2 in the 13th inning.
Hey,
Wow.
that's beautiful. Actually,
It was cool. I mean, we were all dying of like, our eyes were burning and everything, but it was
Did you win?
one time. We did win.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course,
We won twice, actually.
because America.
Umpire, yeah, exactly. We couldn't lose to the Farmers on the 4th of July, but they
People are thinking, wait a minute, the Farmers. That sounds pretty.
well,
Pretty American.
Well, believe it or not, there's farmers everywhere in the world, especially where the farmers are from. It was a fun game though. We won literally twice because the umpire made a bad call the first time we walked it off. But
Oh wow.
good old no, not
Hmm.
is it Keith. Good guy, but Made a bad call.
Nice.
Well, moving on to our next team would be the Midwest Moose.
Ooh, the move.
Mooskies.
So the Moose inception was a fun one, creating a logo that is now the most popular logo in the league. They started off their journey in Wichita and then moved to Winfield in Cowley County. We've talked about this before with all the puns and everything like that, but in their first year, speaking of fireworks, they had a lot of kids from California that had never lit a firework before. And one of the host families did a 4th of July party, and we stopped by, and there were guys worried about burning their hands with sparklers. We talked.
Justin Tuck.
We talked to one kid and talked him into lighting a cake, and of course he lights it and stands over it like, "What's going to happen here?" And I was like, "You better back away." And so he takes 3 steps back, and boom, he freaks out, runs into a tree. And just all kinds of interesting things, creating those core memories of fun times in the middle of, America and Kansas and how our Midwest mentality is. But the move to Winfield was a fun one. I mean, we play at the Southwestern College. They've been ingrained in the community for a little while. They now host the 4th of July game with fireworks. Still working on a mascot there. I think having a cow walking around would be fun. Or just finding
Oh my goodness.
or just finding an actual
Put little water guns in
No.
Midland
Oh,
Midland
cans of
cow
beer.
that
Oh my.
one of those Midland cows that can come out to the games that are domesticated and say hi to the kids or whatnot.
A Highland cow.
A Highland,
From
my bad.
The Highlands.
Not Midland, Highland.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little guys.
You're talking about the dairy company, right?
No, there's like a different breed of cow that doesn't get super big, and they're super
No.
friendly.
Well, I was thinking sponsorship opportunity.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
But no, there's dairy farms around there. We've reached out.
No, I mean like the milk company, Highland.
I
right?
understand.
You know what I'm saying?
I do understand.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
So we're gonna get a live cow at the field.
Oh,
gonna
we've tried.
back the trailer
we've
up.
asked some people for sure.
Just let it run around. It'll be fine.
Yeah. No, the Winfield as a community, I don't know. The first thing that kind of pops in my head when I think of their community and like how it's resilient. That's kind of what comes to mind for me, is because there's been so much change in Winfield since this team has been there. And the team is just kept plugging along, kept chugging, like they're just finding a way to get it done, and putting good pieces in place along the way has helped us. But I would say that their community involvement and fanship over the last 2 to 3 years has steadily grown, but they probably have what I would say is probably the most loyal base out of every team in the league. Like the people that come out and support that team, they come all the time. They're the distance from their community in the sense of like being away from Wichita is probably the farthest, which allows the true model of what we're trying to offer really to kind of flourish, because they have, I think in total, maybe 3, like they have 2 bars and then 1 restaurant that are like frequented quite often, and then they have a handful of small just restaurants that people can go to, but like that's quite literally it. Like they don't, they have a few chains and stuff like that are there, but like there's not a lot of entertainment that are, and they have a full college there. So it's just it's a very unique setting. It's a perfect spot for us because, we provide that thing that they can do in the summertime. And, they've had so many, I mean, when we were there, they had an entire different coaching staff. And then for Southwestern College, it was a coaching staff. And then that changed, and then it changed again. So like it's changed almost every year that we've been there. This will be the first time that the returning head coach is still the same head coach. So I think we've been there. I think we're there 4 or 5 years
4
now.
years, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. So there's just been a lot of change as far as the athletics are concerned. The city side of things, they've had changes that have happened there. The school has a ton of change. Like it's just been this big revolving door of community relationships that have kind of bounced around, but the team has stayed just resilient. Like they've just stayed buckled down and they just keep trying to plug along. We've had a ton of coaches changing there as well, trying to find the right guy. We finally found the right guy who's doing a really good job, which is awesome, which I think is why over the last 2 years you've seen that steady style of growth from the community. But they're involved there again. Now we have a head coach that moved there. He lives there. He's in the community. He coaches there. He's involved with a business there, right? Like, so like we've, rooted down into that community, which is, part of our model, right? Like it's about finding the staffing and the people that want to be there and want to try and grow it. And, so we're seeing that start to happen. I think that their rec does a pretty good job of at least trying. I think it's a challenge because they're in such a rural place and it's smaller, but we get a lot. The fondest memory that I have in Winfield is every single game there's kids playing on the other field and they're playing their own game. Like they're out there playing wiffle ball or baseball, softball, whatever they chose to do that night, and those kids are over there like imitating what Moose players they are. And I hear it. Like I hear them saying their names and like, oh no, I'm this guy hitting now, and I'm this guy pitching now, and I'm this guy this, right? Like, and they, and they probably are averaging 100 and I don't know, 20-ish people, like typically at a game, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, like in those kids being over there as the sun's setting and we're watching a college baseball game, but then there's 15 of them over there running around, and just playing and having a blast. And those are, they're host family kids, but they're also kids that they go to that game every single time it's happening. So that way they can go out there and play too. And to me, that's the importance, right? Like to me, that's
how kids should grow up.
Huh?
That's how kids should grow up.
Yeah. I mean, it's truly, it's special. Like seeing those kids out there and they're yelling out Moose names every single year. It's like new guys every single year, and they're talking about them, and they fall in love with the guys, and like they have fun, like just being out at the baseball field, being out running around sweating on hot summer nights, like instead of sitting on their Xbox at home, And, we're providing that for that community. And I think that that's, we take a lot of pride in that because we want to see the kids having fun like that. But they do good kids camps out there as well, too. They have decent attendance at those because the rec does try and do a good job there. So I mean, they again are they're resilient. Like they just keep plugging, they keep going. They haven't had the best baseball teams. That's just the honest truth. And part of that's with some coaching changes and different things there and guys not doing their jobs. So, but now we got a guy in there that is, and, they've kind of started to, I mean, I think they probably had the most like 1-run losses like ever last summer.
The fight moves.
Yeah. The closest.
They had a ton of close games last year and they just couldn't quite get over that. And I think that you'll see some progression there, which will be a good thing. So,
Well, looking into 2026, they're going to be one of the teams that has the most community support for like free nights at the ballpark or however
they have a
many
ton of those
little buyouts,
small businesses that want to do ticket buyouts and like just get people out to the games because they've bought into the idea, the community has bought into the idea of like, hey, let's provide this for our community. Like let's do something. And it's support for the guys, but they also want it in their community. They want something fun. City ponies up and they're huge supporters of the team. They help with the 4th of July. They have a good 4th of July show there. That's like Valley Center's 4th of July opponent.
It's not our
2 years.
It's not our 4th of July show. It's just a siege.
You lost last year, didn't you?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Like the Moose beat you on 4th of July last year,
Yes.
didn't they?
Yeah.
The year before that, though, you guys
Beat them.
Beat the
I'm pretty
Farmers on 4th of July.
Yeah. Mulvane went down there.
Was it? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought I put you guys there 2 years in a row.
No, Mulvane went down there. They also do a mini camp, which is sponsored by the local Coca-Cola. They, and then the community nights that are out there, faith and family nights from the churches.
Yeah. We got Emily coming back this year too, so we're gonna be having some fun in-game entertainment. She's awesome. She traded on us and went to Kansas City last summer, which I guilt tripped her hard enough to come back this year. So she'll be back, so I'm super excited to have her involved. She'll have fun games. She'll get the kids out on the field, and like they were probably, I mean, other teams tried to do it a little bit, but that would be another fond memory that I have for the Moose is like Emily, she was running in-game entertainment, like out there on the fields doing fun stuff, like making the boys, be a part of it, even if they thought they were too cool. She just didn't care. She's like, get your butt out here. You're gonna do this for these kids, and so they kind of pioneered that within the league of actually like giving us, some ideas and being able to do stuff. So definitely shout out to Emily. She's awesome, does a really good job down there for us. So, we appreciate you.
And then moving on to the next team, we'll go just down the road to Wellington for the Wellington Heat. We've been involved in that for, what would you say, 3 or 4 years now? And we had some cleaning up to do and rebuilding the brand within the community and all of those things. And I think we're finally moving in the right direction. It's less rowdy at the games. More kids are starting to show up. They do mini camps. They're a part of the fall festival. They do everything they can to be ingrained in that community, and it's beautiful there. I mean, they do play at a historic park, and the ground crew there does a wonderful job for all of their games and decorating and whatnot. And our coach, our GM, is very ingrained in the community. So, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, Wellington it's another challenging community in my brain. It's
In a good way.
yeah, all the challenges I think are good challenges, but it's just I don't know. It's hard to put your thumb on it because they had a powerhouse baseball team there for an extended period of time, right? So the community was all about it and they supported it and there was a lot of things there and they had, record crowds, they had tons of people coming out, and then that started to kind of fade. And as that started to fade, the old organization before I got involved kind of started to fade with it. And rather than trying to solve problems and trying to, adapt and become what the community was needing or wanting or whatever, they just kind of packed it up. And so when we came in, the community was I would call it kind of jaded. Like the community in the sense was just kind of like, yeah, we're just kind of over that. Like we're over, the Heat. And it was like, well, we're not going to run it the same way. We're going to try and do things differently. Like we want it to be family friendly. We want kids to want to come out to the ballpark. Like we want to actually be an asset for this community to do something in the evening times and actually, buy into the idea behind, hey, this is a good family friendly event. I would say the Heat are known for their beer garden, not for anything else. Like that's their number one thing. They're known for the beer garden people. And, when we came in, when sat down with the GM and, we had the conversations, I was like, that's not going to be our identity. Like that, if we want to run a successful, family friendly thing, the beer garden can't be our identity. Like that's too college for what it is. Right. So that was a major shift. Like that was and we got some kickback. We probably still get some kickback on that, and that's okay. Like we want the beer garden to be fun. We want it to still be involved. We still want the fans. Like we're not trying to kick them out by any means, but we want to clean it up to where we feel like we can put a bounce house down there and some kids can have a good time and not have to worry about like any rowdy things going on, right? We shouldn't have to worry about a beer can being thrown somewhere type mentality. Not saying that they did that often, but it was just, it was we want a different culture. We want a different vibe. We want it to be more about families and kids. And so they have had record low crowds, probably over the last in comparison to what it was. And so it's been a rebuilding process. Like I feel like we've gained the trust back of many in that community over the last 3-4 years. I feel like we've gotten to the point where the community is kind of turning that page where it's like, we want to get back on board with you guys. Like we want to do some things. Now, I will say, and shout out to the city, they've always supported, right? They've never kind of turned the other cheek per se and kind of leave us on an island. Like they've constantly been there. They've wanted to try and do things, but that community you gotta kind of rebuild it from scratch, and that was fine. Like we said, challenges are good challenges. Like we're okay with that. We want to try and do those things, and now we started putting better baseball teams out there, and they had a rough regular season last year, but then they obviously rallied. We brought some guys in, made some stuff happen for Summer Ball Showdown. The team was obviously able to put it all together and win that thing. So now they're on this, cloud nine, like everything is, popping. It's all good. So we're hoping that yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to bring it up, but
Let's do it again.
yeah. So now,
Round 3.
so now they're, like there's some buzz around the team, good,
And
positive
you use
buzz.
our word. Oh my god.
My
Oh,
goodness.
Get
goodness.
out of
Well,
here.
since when did you guys buzz?
We're mud daubers.
Yeah.
We're always buzzing.
So we're hopeful
Unbelievable.
that they're excited again. Like that's where we want to get to. And it's it's the same format, right? Like we pop these teams in these places and we want to build it up there, right? We want businesses to get involved with the team. We want these businesses to come out and be a part of our game day stuff, like that type of thing. We'll have some off-season meetings here with Callie. Callie was a massive supporter of the team last year, which is also why I think we've started trying to trend in the right direction. So definitely shout out to them as well too for helping us there. But we're having to rebuild some bridges that we didn't necessarily burn down and we didn't break them, but we're going to rebuild them anyway, right? And that's kind of the hope and that's the goal. And that stuff just takes time. Like it's not you walk in and it's just all going to be kosher. Like we're going to have to build trust and do what we say we're going to do for people to trust us. And it's just a challenge. Like we have I mean, sometimes we'll call and people are like, yeah, no, like I don't call me ever again, blah blah blah, and we're like, wait a minute, do you even know like who
Yeah.
we are or what's going on? And they're like, oh, I know who you guys are, like they got their pitchforks out, and it's like, dude, no, time out, like calm down, let's have a convo.
Send Dave out there.
It's just so we're excited. Obviously, having good teams helps solve some problems, but it's not all about that, right? It's about giving
Mhm.
back and trying to help out. They do a really cool the wheat festival there, and like our guys have been involved over the last couple of years. The other thing that we've been trying to get back to, it's tough with timing, but the old team used to always help set up flags for Memorial Day, and so we've been trying to do that. If we get some guys in early and get out and like give back to that and set up flags and help out there. Like I said, GM there has done really good job of trying to put us back into the right positions to be able to win back, the community, and we want to keep doing that. So, just trying to plug away and make the little things happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's move into Mulvane. The Mulvane Patriots, one of our newest adventures, I think, entering year 3 in 2026, came in and originally we were going to call them the Settlers. And then the city connected us with the old organization, and we had a great meeting and took on the Mulvane Patriots name, which is built after the Patriot Guard, which originally was founded in Mulvane, Kansas. And so we hit the ground running with that, building a team and connecting with the community, just being out and involved, and had some cool meetings. Got some early support to make it run, and then yeah, it's just been blowing up since.
Their community is awesome. Like they have just a really enriched baseball community. The people there obviously they've loved the team ever since its inception there, previous with us too. Like that's just always been kind of a good thing. And I don't think that even the old team that was operating there did anything, to my knowledge anyway, that, I'm sure they didn't make everybody happy. I mean, shoot, we don't make them all happy, but it's, they've always just had really good community relations in general. We've put the All-Star game there, which is kind of the thing that, kind of pops out when I think of Mulvane. It's just the showing at the All-Star game and how many people come out to that. We have great business involvement in Mulvane as well too. There's some not big businesses, but like bigger businesses there that
Mhm.
they're all about community and they want to be involved with the different things. I would say that their kids camp is probably rivaling Valley's, if not bigger than Valley's now. So it's definitely up there. Good community partner there because they make some jerseys for the kids, and so they're enticing them to come out and get a Patriots jersey, which is kind of fun.
And then Kona Ice.
Yeah, you see people running around and they're in team gear, start of the season kind of a thing, which is fun. Bernine Plumbing's been an awesome partner there. They did some, which those things I still
The
can't get
green
over.
jerseys.
Yeah, but that's their colors. That's their city colors. So we've adopted that, having kind of their color palette on our team, for the jerseys, green and black, and they bleed it out there. So, but just tying into the high schools, trying to tie into their, sports and how they're about it. And, they want to be good. Like that is something that they're prideful in, right? Like they want the team to be competitive. They want it to win ball games. Like they want to be in games, probably a little too much from a crowd perspective, but that's okay. We can deal with that, but they've had great showings out there. They do the old Settlers Days, I think is what that's called. And then they had 4th of July stuff as well too, where they've got a mascot, so the mascot's out running around, and so the city kind of adopted the model pretty quickly when we kind of went out there, and and we've seen the involvement uptick because of that, because the mascot's running around all over the place and kids love it. And they did I think it's a float, right?
Yeah,
So is that 4th of July? Is that what
Yeah,
that
that's
was
the
in?
4th of July float.
Yeah, so they're in the 4th of July and the mascot's on that, doing whatever you want to call that, but just all over, running all over and just having a good time. And, their community is definitely it's a sports community that wants to be competitive, and that aligns really well with what we're trying to do. So we've just kind of paired it up and have really kind of ran with it.
There's a lot of cool memories on that. I mean, the opening day fireworks show for their first home game has become a tradition. Seeing all the people come out and celebrate the new guys in town, and then obviously with the All-Star game, we get to go to Empire Tacos, which is really good, not only for our players but for the community itself, because they can join us and connect with all the players.
Well, and shout out to Kansas Star for that, and Empire Tacos, obviously, and the city. It's just all three of those, kind of working together to make that event as big as it is. But then, we always talk about experience and what we're trying to provide for the community, but it's also for the players. Those guys pony up, and, then players get to come out there, have a free meal if they're an all-star player. They get to socialize, get to hang out with guys from other teams. Kansas Star went above and beyond this year. They actually even offered it to everybody to come out to. I think the meal deal was like $5 or something like that.
Yeah, $5 at the door for all you can eat buffet.
Yeah, stupid good deal. And that was fun. Like, it's fun when we talk about experiences for the players, like those are the types and times that, even though they may not know it right now, those are the things that they'll remember, right? Those are the things that, later down the road, they're going to remember that night sitting there essentially getting to eat as many tacos and they had a bunch of Mexican candies out there. Those things were awesome. They had all kinds of good stuff there. And, they just get to hang out and meet guys from other teams more so than just being on the field with them. And, and all of that happens because of that community support. It happens because those people see that as being cool. They see it as like, hey, like, this is a way we can give back. This is a way that we can make it fun. And, with that happening, those guys have core memories that are going to hopefully impact them for life, but then also later down the road, hopefully those are the people that want to give back some way, somehow down the road as well. And that's kind of why we do it and why I think it's exciting. But definitely want to shout out the partners there, because it's not possible without them.
Yeah.
So they're making those, like I said, core memories happen and making it a lot of fun for all of the fans and people that get to be around.
But shout out to the community of Mulvane too. I mean, just awesome involvement, always packing the stands, and the kids out there playing games. I mean, you see them climbing over the fence just to play on a different field and all of that stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's a very cool experience. And then finally we moved to El Dorado, the Walnut.
El Dorado.
So El Dorado is about 35 minutes away from home base, and They have what we would consider the best stadium. They play where Butler plays, McDonald's Stadium, and all of those things. They have community involvement all year round with their Winston the Walnut. They do kids camps. They have buyouts. They bring in the U.S. military war dogs for games, and they partner with the Celebration of Freedom Committee. Shout out to Christina for being the head of that. And we donate service dogs every year. On average, it's been 2 to 3 to local veterans and deserving veterans. It's just I don't know. It gives me goosebumps to talk about all the fun things they do out there.
Yeah, Eldo's, it's what everybody's striving to move and be like, I think, as far as the, fan engagement, the community support, the just really truly just embodying the team. Like when you say it's a city team, like that's what it is. Like their city is all about it. They want it there. They're excited about it. They promote it. They share it. They talk about it. Like, I mean, the city does commercials with the mascot. Like they are really running with it being a team that, or a city type style of an event. It's a city ran type style thing, even though it's still quote unquote separate, but they have adopted it, if you will, right? Like they are all about it, and it's a lot of fun. The mayor of El Dorado is our PA guy. Like he's amazing, like he's out there and he bleeds that team. Like he's
helped us with some partnerships too.
He helps us across the board. Like he wants that team to be competitive. Like he wants them to win. He is just, and he's fallen in love, I think, with the mission. In the beginning it was just about the baseball, but now it's more so about how it gives back and how we can impact and help other people. And I think he sees that more so now, because he's helped us with the War Dogs. He's helped us, just with partnerships inside of the city. He's kind of embodying it with us, which is awesome. So, definitely shout out to Bill. We appreciate all your help and being up late, and because that guy's out there at every game, mainly. I mean, not all of them, but almost all of them. And those late games, he's texting me, and he's got to go to work the next day, and he's traveling around doing all kinds of stuff. But he's about it, and he's out there calling the games. He's excited, and it turns into a full family affair with them. But yeah, it's fun. We have great support there. They have the biggest 4th of July game, thus far right now. So I know that that's something that some of the other cities are trying to take the crown, if you will. I don't know if they will, but I don't know. There's a few thousand people that are out there at that game, and it's the city fireworks show. So the entire city pulls up out there. The youth fields behind it are completely full.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just, there's not a seat in the house. Like, like it's just it's a cool event. Like when you were talking about, nostalgia with Valley Center playing on 4th of July, like that's what I feel when I go to those games, or that game is, it's just crazy. Like just crazy stuff. The fireworks show they put on is amazing. It's one of the best ones that we have. And then just community consistency. I think that's the thing with El Dorado that everyone's chasing, is their fanship is at every game. Like they
show up and show out.
Yeah.
And I mean,
every game.
Even the senior center's involved.
Yeah, they pull up, they're riding in there on them wheels, and they sit down right in their same spots. They're right behind home plate every single game. You got to ask them to move every single time to put the camera up, but they don't care because they want their spot.
Yep.
Like they bombard that place. It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, just the overall experience you get when you walk through there is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's truly the community that supports the team the most.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
They're out there. I mean, the businesses get involved, right? Like we do. They're the only game, or the only team, I think, currently right now that has like an in-game entertainment sponsor. Not like our staff running it, like actual, like a business comes out because they want to be out in front of the people, which is unique and awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the other day about the pots, being out, the
Porta
whatever
potties.
they call that. Yeah.
The pot shot.
The pot shot. There you go. So they got that going on, which is cool. I mean, it's just there's so many fun things that are happening at the games, and the mascots just like
dancing off
Yeah, it's
with
just
old
known out
ladies,
there.
just
Yeah.
you bring Winston out and nobody cares about baseball for that 4
Yeah,
to 10
just
minutes.
out there dancing.
Yeah.
They have probably the biggest 50-50s, like the fans are all engaged in that. They want to win that thing. Bill does trivia. He does, the in-inning like stuff. I mean, it's probably our closest to, your minor league baseball feel where there's something going on, people are talking, there's just things happening. He does great on the music, like there's constantly, there's effects going on. I mean, it's the whole setup. It's the whole thing. So everyone else is trying to grow to them and they're trying to stay out in front of everybody else. So it's kind of a fun thing to be a part of for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And then let's kind of touch a little bit about the league and the one mission that connects all of the teams together and the community. I mean, the league itself is built around everyone working together to make it be successful and longevity. So, shout out to Sheldon for driving that mission and seeking out the right people to continue to drive that mission in each community that we're in. But kind of share a little bit of details on that, Sheldon.
Well, I mean, overall, it's just every team, we kind of have the same goals, which are, good experience for the place, right? Like we want people to enjoy coming out and supporting it, but we care about, like I said earlier, it's kind of a twofold thing, right? The player experience is something that is really important to us. We want our players to feel like they're playing in and for something, right? And when we say something, we mean like for the community, right? Like they're playing for the kids in the stands, the people that are coming out, the people that are excited, like they're playing for that, right? Because that's where they're at that point in time. And then on the community side, it's just about, family friendly, being consistent with what we say we're going to do. We do it, not trying to ask for something and then not, following through on the back end kind of a thing. Cause the reality is there's a lot of teams out there that they send us something like there's tons of promises, but then they don't follow through. Right. And that is something that all of our coaches, our staff, our people, like if we say we're going to do it, we're going to do it. And, like we don't, mess with that. We don't ask people for things. We don't, do that side of it if we're not going to follow through on our end. And I think that's kind of become our reputation in all of these smaller communities. And, that's a good thing, right? Like that's the whole goal is to get the trust of the communities and then be able to provide them, that entertainment to where they have fun, they build core memories, they get to give back to each other because ultimately that's kind of the circle, right? Like they're coming out there and then we're giving it back to them and then they're coming and then giving it back to us. And like we're just trying to keep that circle kind of flowing and, trying to do fun things and trying to make it, about the experience that they have out at the ballpark with us. And then, obviously when there's situations where we can help, that's another big thing is we want to try and do more of that. We're limited in some aspects because we only got our guys here for certain amounts of time. But, I think that that's always been a focal point where we're trying to, you know, get our guys out there, like in Valley when we were talking, like go and work with the youth guys, go do the camps, go find, different things that we can just have a presence at and just go lend a hand, right? I know Valley that spawns my memory. They went and helped set up some beds. I don't remember what exactly it was for, but I remember them going and doing it.
Cannot disclose the location.
Okay. But they went and did that. And, so that's just an example, right? Like we want to be involved. I know in El Dorado, we went and packed meals, right? They had I don't remember what that was for either, but they went and packed meals and whole team shows up and they're sitting there making meals to send off. Like, so just things like that where we're not bigger than the game, right? Like we're not bigger than the community. We're not bigger and better than any other thing that's going on out there. We want to serve. We want to serve the community, give back as best we can, and do what we can do to be able to enrich these small communities so that way we can continue to operate there, but then also they get something that they can latch onto and get excited about and, have fun with, and then be able to grow, long-standing memories and make it a good time for everybody involved.
Man, that was good. That was a good one. I don't have any other questions after that or statements. It's just, we stay true to our model and we lead with that in our life each and every day with the people that we're around. So, and we try to push that out to the people that we have working with us and for us and the communities that we serve. So that's just, you explain that perfectly.
Great.
So, yeah. Any other ones that we should talk about?
That's them.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all
those
our
are the league teams, baby.
Connecting the community. Sean, you got anything?
No.
Okay.
Remember, don't ask him. You got to look at him.
Oh, you got to look at him. Hold on. All right. How about this? Sean, do you mind leading us in a closing prayer?
I don't mind.
Thank you.
Lord, as we close this out today, just pray that when we talk about going out into the community and being a part of the community, we are completely authentic in doing so. It's not for a motive to say we're doing good things. It is because we mean what we say, and it is for the betterment of everyone involved. And that we honor and glorify you in doing so. So I pray for authenticity. I pray for hard work. I pray for good effort. And I pray for constant drive to further those relationships over time. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. That was a good one, too. So, well, episode 34, connecting the community with the KCLB and all of its teams. That is it for us. You guys have a great day.